are listening to the Mark Reardon Show, but Mark is on a much-needed and much-deserved vacation. My name is Bo Matthews, and just last weekend on my weekend program here on KMOX, I was connected with Nick Powers at Uncommon. It's a local business, a consulting firm, and Nick and I had a great conversation because he is an expert when it comes to the digital world, and just today, the Associated Press as a headline about this is getting scary. The senators, the Treasury Department email accounts compromised in this hack that's going on, and I'm sure it goes much deeper than that. But with dozens of email accounts at the Treasury Department were compromised in a massive breach of U.S. government agencies being blamed on Russia, with hackers breaking into systems used by the department's highest-ranking officials. Now, I know here at the company that owns KMOX, we have to do, hacking training and, what to look for, the phishing emails that go out. I don't understand. Maybe they didn't have that training at the Treasury Department. I don't know. And it's not a funny situation. It's actually probably one of the most severe situations, even more probably dangerous than whatever fraud or no fraud of the election happened. Nick Powers back from Uncommon. How are you? I didn't realize we were going to talk this soon.
I'm excited to join you again today, Bo. There's a lot going on, that's for sure.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and unpack it. And what have you found at the latest? I mean, I mentioned the Associated Press story. What information do you have?
Yeah, I mean, so you touched on it. Yesterday, the Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon basically laid out this nefarious plan that's underway that was discovered about a week ago, which is leveraging a software called SolarWinds Orion platform. Alleged Russian hackers from the group Cozy Bear have infiltrated a lot of our civilian kind of government base, to include the Treasury Department. The senator did say, though, that right now there does not seem to be any evidence that the IRS has been breached, but there have been a lot of high-profile things that's inside of DHS, the Department of State, the Department of Justice. So this is a widespread attack that is going to have a lot of implications for many months to come.
And when you and I talked last weekend, we talked about the backdoors of the software is already built in, and maybe that's why it was so easy for it to happen. Is that true?
Yeah. So what's allegedly happened is, instead of actually going directly at the different government agencies, the hacking group decided to go after a software called SolarWinds that monitors all the network traffic for performance and other outages, and essentially gets installed on every single network device to help companies and the government maintain performance and allow them to deliver their business systems. So, as I mentioned last week, this is almost the perfect hack, because if you're going to hack something, number one is you don't want people to know you're doing it. And so they did it so far up the chain that no one was really looking for this. It's really SolarWinds' responsibility to make sure this doesn't happen. And number two is you want to make sure you get access to as many devices as possible when you do the hack. And so not only did this accomplish, number one, they did it without anybody really detecting them for 7 months. And number two, wow, they did it across the entire networks of these organizations. So it's incredible how bad this is going to be.
Well, as we all know, information is ammunition. And what would be the biggest thing? As the average American, I mean, it seems so much bigger than me personally, but how can it affect these different departments that they hacked into, other than getting information? Was the Defense Department part of this hack as well?
As far as we know right now, there has been no sign that this has been able to penetrate the Defense Department. My consulting company does a lot of work with the Department of Defense, and they have a lot of fail-safes in place that typically wouldn't put them in a position to have this type of failure, but I'm not saying it won't happen.
Right.
So right now it's basically been focused on the civilian agencies, but there's 18,000 organizations and customers that have been impacted by this. So this is across our nation. This is across the world. Europe is suffering from it. Other parts of the world are suffering from this. And so, this is terrible. And the damage, as far as the amount of information and the type of information they're exfiltrating from these systems, has yet to be determined. Like, we haven't seen people ransoming or doing other types of things to companies yet. We're still trying to unravel what the end game was for this hack.
Now, Russia, you said the first time we talked, you mentioned Cozy Bear. It sounds like it's wonderful and warm and fuzzy. It's a cozy bear, but it's serious. But the other one, they used bear in another title of a hack that they've done before.
Well, so a few years back, it started with an organization called Fancy Bear,
and they named that.
Fancy Bear
they named that?
Created a lot of. What was that again?
Did they name that, or did we name that?
No, it's. I think it's a combination of people giving nicknames in the hacking community.
Okay.
And typically, you'll see Russian groups, especially ones that are working for their version of the CIA or NSA. They usually have someone usually tags the end noun of bear to them. So it just seems to be a pattern that's being applied to these groups. They have other names. They go by number acronyms as well and other things, but right now we're laying in on Cozy Bear.
I think Treasury. Yeah, it sounds warm and fuzzy, like it's Build-A-Bear. No, it's not. The Treasury Department, when that's talked about, that's scary. But you said that the IRS possibly could be a part of this hack.
Well, right now it's not believed that the IRS is part of the hack, but I did want to bring up something that just came out in the last 24 hours, which is it's now believed that Cisco, Intel, Belkin, VMware, and NVIDIA are all part of this hack. And why is that important? Those component manufacturers make up 80% or more of our network and PC infrastructure in the United States. And so you now have malware inside of these companies that could potentially get into their products as well. And we're seeing this could just be incredible. That's almost worse than worrying about some of these government agency things, because this could allow them to continue to hack and steal information for many years to come.
And you said those partners, the names of those companies, Belkin and them, those were also targets, or they were part of the hack, just to clarify?
So they were part of the hack. So they had SolarWinds running inside of their companies.
Oh, okay,
and it allowed the Russians to potentially get into their companies and steal information or inject malware into their products.
Well, I hate getting just a stupid little virus on my computer, and this is that on steroids. Nick, normally we do a kind of a, hey, Nick Powers from Uncommon. We normally do that at the front of a conversation, but I just talked to you last week. Can you tell me more about you guys and Uncommon, and what do you do?
Yeah, so we're a 10-year-old business consultancy. We were founded to serve the Department of Defense at Scott Air Force Base, which is 20 minutes to the east of downtown St. Louis. We provide customers with cloud, cybersecurity, software development, and other technical expertise. And we are now a consultancy of 200 people in the St. Louis region. So we serve a lot of not only government customers, but now a lot of commercial customers across the region.
Gotcha. And Uncommon is UNCOMN if you want to look them up. Nick, I didn't think I was going to be talking to you this soon, but you know what? I'd love to keep your number at the ready just in case there's another major development. Certainly if it gets into the IRS department or, God forbid, the Defense Department, something like that. But let's keep this line of communication open, okay?
Yeah, great. It's been great being on your shows, Bo, and helping kind of get the word out on this. This is a very important topic. I will say, too, as a service to the community, anybody that has any questions about both the SolarWinds hack and anything else that's going around that you're worried about, we actually have an email address that you guys can send requests to. It's called cyberhack@uncommon.com, cyberhack@uncomn.com. So we're happy to provide people information, help them out in these situations, especially businesses as they're in uncertain times. Right now, just to throw this out there, Bo, and not because I want to freak you out, is, Uncommon's been under pressure for the last 2 weeks on phishing attempts to try to get into our network. So we know it's not just SolarWinds, it's widespread. There's a lot of different threat vectors that people can use, and a lot of businesses are under pressure right now. And so if they need a friend, we're there to help.
Okay, sounds great. Nick Powers, have a very Merry Christmas. We will talk very soon, and I thank you very much for your time again today.